Right guys, hello, another video for you on Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. If you hear a choo-choo train, I have a toy train over there. You're not going crazy. But yeah, the game's barely been out a week. It's already seen 2 patches to do fixes and changes to really address the negative reviews this game got on release. And to be honest with you, many, if not all of those complaints were completely valid. The developers only have themselves to blame. So we'll call this video Second Patch, Second Opinion. I can tell you what's changed so far and give you my opinion, the state the game is in at the moment. Those of you that don't have any patience, I can tell you it's better, but it still needs a little bit more love. At the right price and with these fixes in place, it'll be a good VR title. I don't know about a great one, but it'll be a good title that many of us will want to have in our VR collection if it's the right price. And speaking of price, I paid £55 for it on release from the Steam store. It was £45 on Oculus. They've now dropped the price on Steam. They're both in line now, £45. So there's no way for me to sugarcoat this. I was overcharged £10 to be a beta tester for a game that wasn't ready for release. This should have been delayed 2 weeks, a month, whatever it would take to get the game in a better state. So I really do suggest you guys wait. I'll keep you up to date when I feel it's at a point I can recommend it to people. I'll let you know, but we'll go over what's changed. So we've got the campaign there, and they say it had 50 missions. They made a big thing of that. It doesn't. It has 5, maybe 6. I'm saying 5. And each mission is broken up into set pieces. Now, there might be 50 set pieces, but a set piece does not equal a mission. The first one, you do that in 2 to 3 minutes. Now, the problem the game had was after each set piece, it would come up with a screen that said victory, click to continue. It was very jarring, broke down the flow of the game. So they've removed that now. When you complete a set piece, it just loads into the next part of the level, as we'd expect it to do. So that helps the flow of the game. What it doesn't help is that the first mission, in fact, the first hour of the game is a bit meh. You need to fight your way through it. Once you get into the later missions, it becomes a lot more fun. Now, the developers only have themselves to blame. They should start how they mean to finish. It's your first introduction to the game. It should be an awful lot of fun. Many people will have refunded it because you've only got 2 hours to get that no questions asked refund on Steam. And I know people have refunded in droves because I've looked at my Steam achievements. Under 10% of people have completed mission 3, which is frankly shocking. It should be like 80 to 90% of people. So I'm sure we'll get there once they put some more fixes and performance improvements, but this game has certainly been tarnished by the rushed release. Multiplayer, there is a change in that you no longer need to click equip when you change your avatar. It's really minor change, nothing to get excited about. I don't think there's anything for survival, although I do really enjoy that mode. The gallery, now everything is unlocked from the get-go. Before you were completing missions and then that would unlock a video, but they're all there to watch from the get-go now. I want you to keep in mind that all of those videos, the interviews with the veterans and going to these locations from World War II, that's 30 gig of the game. 180 gig install, but if you minus 30 gig, so about 150 gig for the game, that's actually reasonable. If we looked at Asgard's Wrath, which was about 130 gig install size, if you want good looking textures, you want variation to the levels, that means you need more textures. That's the price we pay. A larger install size. Something like Saints and Sinners, I think that was about 30 gig, and people complained about textures and assets being reused. And you had Stormlands, that was only like 15 gig, and everything looked the same on every level. I got very bored of that very quickly. So what I wish they'd done was do the gallery as a separate download. We could have downloaded the main game, played it whilst the gallery's downloaded in the background. Maybe they'll do that in the future. I don't know. Let's go into the options, because there's quite a few changes in here. So audio and video. Performance is the big thing. When the game was announced, it said a 2080 as recommended specs, which freaked people out because many people won't have anything close to that. For this game to succeed and to have legs and last, certainly for the multiplayer, it needs to have a player base. Sounds silly to say that out loud, but we need people playing it. So they need to improve the performance for more people on more modest machines like mine to be able to play the game well. I did a video to help people get better performance. All we had originally was the screen resolution. So when you drop it down to medium, it really becomes a blurry mess. A better way to do it I went into Steam VR settings and lowered the render resolution. With my Rift S, I've gone as low as 70%, and the game still looks pretty good. Far better than that medium preset, and that's with my 980 Ti. Some people do put it down to medium in game, and then super sample, they increase the render resolution beyond 100%, coming it the other way. Those of you that got a Quest headset, you can go through the Oculus software, and I suggest those of you that can lower your refresh rate of your headset, with the Quest, you can go down to 72 hertz. Do that, because then you only need 72 frames per second. It's less demanding on your PC, makes life a little bit easier for it. We have some extra video options that are thrown in now. I wish there was more. I'd like to be able to turn shadows down or off completely. Yes, it's going to affect how the game looks, but anyone that plays PC games and you're competitive, you know ultra settings are for screenshots. We use the low potato mode to get high frames per second so we can be competitive. We don't care how pretty the explosions are. That's just a fact. It's just how people are. We'll go over what's changed. The anti-aliasing mode, we can turn it down a little bit. So we've got MSAA. They have put in a temporal anti-aliasing, which is just a blurry mess. I wouldn't personally bother with it. So either turn MSAA down or just turn anti-aliasing off to get a bit more performance. We can turn the texture filtering level down. Texture streaming. It says set the amount of video memory reserved for texture streaming. That doesn't really tell anybody what it does. Texture streaming is to do with the Unreal Engine and the quality of the textures. This is saying how much VRAM we can assign. So I would assume the more VRAM you give, the better the textures will look. We'll just leave that on auto. We can change anti-aliasing quality, but I've turned it off, so that shouldn't really make any odds. Let's head into VR comfort. So we've got turn style. We've finally got the smooth turn. That should have been there day one. And we've got the sensitivity to adjust that. Obviously, that only applies when you use the smooth turn. The flick turn or snap turn, as it's commonly known, it's really jarring. I hate it. So really glad to see smooth turn. Movement orientation has been added. You can change that off your controllers or where your head is facing. That's a new addition as well. Again, stuff we really expected to see day one. So accessibility, the seated mode is still really a token gesture. Now, I broke my leg about 2 years ago, and it gave me a new appreciation for seated mode done well in VR because I couldn't stand up and play the games. So ideally, yes, we want to be doing it room scale. We stand up and we can lean, and we can crouch in real life and see that happen in the game. It's awesome. It's very immersive. However, some people are disabled. They can't do that. They can't just stand up because the game wants them to. Or, if you've had an accident, you broke your leg, that's a bit of a problem. We need a crouch button. People that are new to VR, if you stand them up and get them to walk forward using the thumbstick, their brain will go WTF and they'll face plant into the floor. They get very dizzy very quickly. It takes time to get your VR legs. So having a seated mode really helps new players get acclimatized to VR as well. It's very important to have it done well. This game still hasn't done it quite yet. We'll go into gameplay. So some stuff I've flicked off, more for immersion. Wasn't necessary to do. So the grab guide, the object highlights, the grabbing and weapon text. So on the gun, there's no more blue nonsense on it telling me how to reload the gun, no visual clues. It just really helps with immersion. I think we're pretty much done in the options. Yeah, what we'll do, we'll head down and see the Quartermaster, so I can share my thoughts with you a little bit further. And there's a couple of other changes I do want to show. In the future, when I need to finish the campaign completely, I will do a video to show off all of the guns. I think some people would enjoy to see that and talk them through. I've turned the audio off for the Quartermaster. You'll see her lips move, but she hopefully won't say anything. If only we could do that with the wives and girlfriends. Yeah, so she's shushed. That's good. So we'll pick up a gun. Just... yeah, let's get the Tommy gun, because that'd be the best way to demonstrate the change. So the sleeve, your wrist, originally when you take aim, that sleeve would get in the way of the rear sight when you're trying to aim. You couldn't see down the rear sight. So they've adjusted it now. When you put it anywhere near your face, the sleeve disappears. And it's not really, that jarring because you're not looking at it. It just magically disappears. You're looking down the sight. So I'm glad they've done that. That really, really does help. Appreciate them doing that. We'll just quickly show what I mean about the seated mode being awkward without that crouch button. So this is the MG42 Hitler's Buzzsaw. Sure, I can see where the tracers are going, but ideally I need to get down on the gun. I mean, yeah, I can lean forward in the chair, but it's not ideal. If I just had a button that made me crouch, I'd be on the sights much easier. There's sections of the campaign which are just so awkward to do with the seated mode without a crouch button. You end up in a bomber and you're going on these machine guns to shoot down BF 109s coming in to try and take you out. Yeah, it'd just be so much better with that crouch button. I was quite surprised in the tutorial. I was expecting to see that almost obligatory push crouch button here to continue to go under barbed wire or whatever, but that just wasn't there. But they really do need to add that in. It really would help the gameplay. So we'll pick up some guns. We'll just talk things through. So the game's not quite there yet. It's definitely getting better, which is good. Is it worth the £45? No, is the short answer. At £30, I would be happier. At £45, it puts it in line with Half-Life Alyx. Now, Half-Life Alyx, I don't think that was worth £45 either. Now, I've put 22 hours into Half-Life Alyx. I finished it twice and I got all of the achievements. And my friends have pretty much done the same. So that seems par for the course, 22 hours in that game. This game, I've maybe done half of the campaign. I've done a bit of the multiplayer, a fair bit of survival. I've already done those 22 hours. So there's value for money there. There's plenty to do. But it still needs a little bit more love, to get it into a good state, an enjoyable, playable state. So it's something I often mention, which is the SNS effect, Saints and Sinners. That game did so many things so well. It really did ruin some other games for me, including Half-Life Alyx. Saints and Sinners came first, and that game was £30. The developers have made, slight improvements to it with patches, and they added in the trial mode, which I really enjoy. So yeah, the gunplay in this game is pretty good. I mean, I think Saints and Sinners has done it better, but overall the SNS effect hasn't really impacted my joy of this game as much. It's just annoying things that I know they can patch out with a little bit more time. So having mentioned the trial mode, all 20 waves of that in Saints and Sinners, that's like an hour and 20 minutes. I've done videos on all the locations. It's a bit much. After 10 rounds, I've really got quite bored. This game, the survival mode, it's 5 minutes you need to survive for, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're actually playing it, it's long enough. It is enjoyable. If you just want to hop on, have a bit of fun, shoot some stuff, survival mode is great. The multiplayer modes are quite interesting as well. The bots are completely retarded and stupid, but ideally we should be playing against real people, not the AI. To show we can shoot pretty well with these guns. So yeah, there's potential here for this to be a good title. I don't know that you're going to want to play through the campaign over and over and over again, but a lot of the set pieces are pretty good, inspired by movies and like TV series like Band of Brothers. It's not like a documentary style experience. Don't expect that. It's supposed to be fun. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek. People say it's in juxtaposition to the gallery. They say, they're complete opposites, and I've heard people say that the campaign's a spit in the face to World War II veterans. Well, I think that's taking things a bit far. I'm glad they did the gallery and put that in. People are interested in World War II documentaries. You can check that out. People want to learn about the war. That's there for them to take things seriously. But at the end of the day, it's a game. We're supposed to have fun. If you make things too realistic, you're not going to have fun. So what we'll do, we'll head down. Yeah, so we'll leave the weapons because I'll do a dedicated video for that. We'll head down to the Gauntlet just to show this to people because not many people seem to play it. It is quite cool. So think of this as a training level, but there's for each level there is a gauntlet to run. So I need to, for this one, grab the dynamite, get it up to that half track, then come back and push the plunger. There'll be Wehrmacht trying to stop me, so I need to get past the Germans, kill all of them if possible, and do this quickly as possible. There's a part-time, there's achievements tied into this. So just check my weapons. We're loaded. Take the ammo. Right. 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Oh, that's a grenade. Now it'd be great if I did have that crouch button so I could take cover behind stuff. Need a syringe. We've still got a German around here. Yep. Take that. Really do like the MP40. Right. So I've got that dynamite on my chest. Plant that. I need to make my way back. Wait for him to reload. Saw another guy down here. Yep. Right, there's another guy. To the plunger. Yeah, could have done better, but I was doing the live commentary at the same time. So yeah, there's definitely content to the game. It just needs quality of life improvements. These are dummy grenades. So yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. Have a great day. Have a great evening, whatever it is you choose to do after watching this. And as always, I'll see you when I see you next. Ciao.